Hey, hello, good day, and welcome to another episode of Biologyzing with your host Ichabod Slice, once again out here in Australia. And today we're getting high. High elevation, that is. Well, at least high elevation in Australian standards. We're at about an elevation of about 3,500 feet above sea level, and we are still in a temperate rainforest ecosystem. So if you're interested in seeing what kind of biota they got out here, come along and join me for the rest of this episode. If not, go ahead and switch the channel to one of your gun shooting videos or whatever the hell you watch. Okay, usually I try to go places that don't have a lot of people, but this time I decided to go to one of the most touristy natural areas in Eastern Australia. This area is known as the Blue Mountains area. Even though it is touristy, it does have some very stunning views, but nonetheless, we're still going to biologize this area, even though you might hear background noise of, tourists kind of yapping their gums amongst each other. But then again, who am I to complain? I'm a tourist in this country as well. Okay, so when it comes to the vegetation up in this high elevation temperate rainforest, by far the dominant tree making up the upper canopy is a type of eucalyptus, and I think this is Eucalyptus macrorhyncha. I think the common name of this is called red stringybark. Yeah, that species is pretty much predominating the upper canopy. I'm unsure if this is a primary or secondary forest system. I want to say it might be secondary. There is evidence of past fires. I mean, you see the base of that tree right there. So this might be a forest that's successional after the fire. And then making up a good portion of the mid-story right here, we got this showy individual. This is Lambertia formosa in the Proteaceae family. And you notice that the way that these flowers are arranged, it doesn't really have that kind of strobulous structure. Rather, this is more of like a classic flower structure. But you see those styles that are peeking out, which is also kind of maintained in a lot of the other Proteaceans that we see out here in Australia. It's got spiny leaves too that kind of hurt when you run into it. And then we also got this right here. Now, I'm not sure what the species is, but it's definitely in the genus Acacia. The common name might be longleaf wattle, just because, like, the leaves look pretty linear and everything. If this is indeed longleaf wattle, this is actually one of the invasive species that we find in California, which to me is kind of cool because, I'm seeing it in its native habitat, so to speak. Family Fabaceae, by the way. And then also making up a portion of the understory, we got this right here, Petrophile, aka the conestick bush or the conestick shrub, also in the family Proteaceae. Doesn't have any blooming flowers right now, but you can see this is why they call it conestick. Even though it's not really a cone, that's just like, that's essentially the collection of old fruits. And just like that Lambertia, you have the styles kind of left over. Also in the family Proteaceae. And of course, it wouldn't be Australia without these guys. This is Banksia serrata, because of those serrate leaves right there. Also in the Proteaceae. Also has flowers that have a kind of a strobulous structure. And also on this individual, those flowers and fruits look kind of spent already. Not seeing any blooming flowers of this species. Another plant dominant in the short layer is this right here. This is Costus flexuosa, I believe, in the sedge family Cyperaceae. I mean, this is kind of a weird sedge for me to look at just because of how wriggly it looks. I'm used to sedges looking kind of nice and long and straight. Yeah, Cyperaceae. Sedge family. And then making up a dominant of the undergrowth or the ground short layer, we have this. This is Beckia linifolia in the Myrtaceae, which is the same family as Eucalyptus. Linifolia because, the leaves are pretty linear. Hey, when you look closer, you can see that, yeah, those flowers definitely look like Myrtaceae flowers. But yeah, it's kind of almost everywhere in the undergrowth right now. Whoa. I just heard something in the background. I wonder if that was a landslide. It sounded loud as hell all the way from over here. I wonder if that was that loud ass sound that I heard earlier today. It looks relatively fresh. Damn, I wish I would have saw that. That would have been pretty hard. Yep, part of the erosion process. All right, this one is interesting. because it's in the family Asteraceae, and this is the first Asteraceae that I've seen in Australia. You can see the phyllaries right there. That's one of the characteristics to tell it's from Asteraceae. But yeah, this is a native Asteraceae here in Australia, which is kind of wild because I guess I was kind of under the predisposition that, you know, Asteraceae didn't make it all the way out here on this continent, but they did. And here we have a native species. I looked this up, and apparently it's a important fire follower. After things get burned down, this is one of the first species to kind of sprout up during the succession process. Yeah, Coronidium, native Asteraceae. Nice. We got another species of Actinus, Apiaceae family, the carrot family. But members within this genus seem to be convergent, at least morphologically convergent, with members of the Asteraceae, or the daisy family. You can see this looks pretty daisy-like. I guess it has a composite of flowers right there in the center. That's the business end of everything. Those nice leaves too. I think this is Actinus helianthus. Yeah, morphologically convergent to the Asteraceae, it appears. See, no phyllaries. That's how you know it's really not an Asteracean. Okay, what we got right here is a lepidopteran in the family Nymphalidae, or brush-footed butterflies. This is in the genus Tisbene. Tisbene named after some Greek nymph goddess or something like that. Who cares? Anyway, seems to be feeding on the nectar of this flower known as Epacris, which is in the blueberry family Ericaceae. Yeah, this Epacris is kind of cool. Very unique morphology when it comes to blueberries. Well, it's not actually a blueberry, but it's in the blueberry family Ericaceae. Kind of has an ericoid structure to its leaves, I suppose. And again, the blueberry family is pretty diverse. There's even some individuals that are hemiparasitic and don't even have chlorophyll. And of course, we got Apis mellifera, the European honeybee, undoubtedly introduced here for honey production. Family Apidae. It's got hairy eyes and pollen sacs on its hind legs, on its hind tibia. What is that? Seems to be some sort of Grillidae family, which is the family of crickets, I guess true crickets. And I could tell that because its antennae is long and filamentous. What is it doing? Is that its antennae making that pulsing motion? Okay, I just had to catch it. All right. Yeah, those white things are kind of... Yeah, I think those are the labial... Oh no, they're the maxillary palpi. Wow, whatever the species is, it has exceptionally long maxillary and labial palpi. The labial palpi should be the ones on the bottom, the small ones. And usually palpi are just there as a... Usually kind of as a food processing appendage. Like it helps like kind of jam food in the mouth. But they also have taste receptors and everything like that. Yeah, interesting grillid species here. I think this one's a male too. It's because I'm not seeing any ovipositor. It's an adult because it's got wings. No ovipositor, so pretty sure it's a male. Oh, look at that ant. It's got some pretty long legs. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Oh, they're fast. Pretty long legs for a formicid. Is that a dead sedge inflorescence or something like that? I wonder if it's carrying it back to its colony. I wonder if these do the same thing as leafcutter ants, where they farm fungus by taking plant matter into their colony and, you know, letting it decay, let the fungus eat it, and the fungus grow, and then they eat the fungus. Oh, we got another bulldog ant. The genus Myrmecia. At least I assume that's what the genus is. Look at it get all aggressive. Look at it. Look at him. Oh, oh. All right, I'll stop being abusive to you. Yeah, look at those mandibles, though. serrated mandibles. Oh, got this hymenopteron right here. All right, we got this hymenopteron kind of hiding out on the Lambertia right here. I actually have no idea what the family is for this. Looks like a hymenopteron though. What bird was that? All right, so I caught another orthopteron. This one seems to be in the family Acrididae. Oh, it's got a nice mottled coloration, or a mottled texture, almost like kind of rocky texture, kind of reminiscent of the weathered sandstone that's found out here. But yeah, Acrididae, shorthorn grasshoppers. It's got some nice reddish tinge on the ventral side of its hind legs. Lighter cream color on top. Okay, I caught yet another example of an orthopteron here, which I also assume is also in the family Acrididae, the shorthorn grasshoppers. Sorry for the glare on this container, everybody. But yeah, this seems to be another species, a little more drab, a little bit of bluish on the tibia there. It's kind of got a pointy shaped head anterodorsally, which might indicate it being part of some subfamily. This is the biggest grasshopper I've seen so far. The grasshoppers here are really easy to catch too, by the way. Anyway, let's let it go. Ooh, so pretty. That freaking flies. Yeah, so this apparently is also Grevillea, also within the Proteaceae family. And seems like it has some either carpenter ants or... Yeah, another species of ant. There's a lot of ants here too. I wonder if they're stealing the nectar or just harvesting the nectar. Very showy individual here. I wonder if these ants are actually aiding in pollinating this individual. But yeah, again, Proteaceae with those elongated styles. That seems to be the theme within Proteaceae. But yeah, this is one of the more showy flowers out here. Grevillea. Wow, look at all this Aboriginal art. I wonder what all these symbols mean. New lizard. I have no idea what species it is, but I have a feeling it's in the family Agamidae. I'm aware that agamas are pretty prevalent in this part of the world. And I'm assuming this is a little baby. Agamidae is the same family as bearded dragons. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is a close relative of one. There we go, that's a better shot right there. Kind of dinosaur looking, huh? There we go. I wonder if this is a different species or the same species as that little lizard that I saw. Some nice coloration on the back there. Oh, thank you for cooperating, homie. I appreciate you letting me get the close-up shot like this. Makes it way easier when I gotta consult the internet to figure out what the hell you are. Yeah, the lizards are out today. So I looked this up. This is in the genus Eucalyptus, family Skincidae, skink family. Common name is the water skink, which I guess they are semi-aquatic. I saw one dive into a puddle one day. I was pretty shocked and amazed. Yet again, another lizard. This one again in the Skincidae family. Although I don't know exactly what species this is. I'm imagine it's closely related to the water lizard if it's not the same as the water lizard. I suppose it could also be white skink. I don't know my Australian lizards. Classic skink body shape, nice smooth shiny scales, kind of a blunt nose, and it's scared of me. I guess it's indecisive whether it wants to run away. Yeah. He's just taking chunks out of this earthworm. Phylum Annelida. Annelida oligoceta versus Vertebrata Skinsidae. I guess he got his fill. Ooh, well, I guess that's it for me here in Blue Mountains National Park out in southeastern Australia. I hope you enjoyed looking at the fabulous forms and families of life that they have out here. And if you didn't like it, sorry not sorry. Once again, I appreciate you joining me watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed everything that I got to show you. And maybe if you yourself one day decide to come out here to southeastern Australia, you might be a little bit more prepared as to what things to expect and what things to see when you come. But with that being said, I gotta get out of here. I'm starting to feel some raindrops. I don't want it to get any worse. So just remember, keep your decisions scientific. Stay away from all the gimmicks. I'm Ichabod Slice. Peace up. Peace out. Go and learn something.